Good morning, guys. It's Justin Park, and you're watching Front Row Live with Rob.
Justin, what's up, dude? Congratulations with the new single. First of all, like, I really want to dive in and let you know, like, you got the Latin fans swooning over you even more with this new single, Mi Vida.
Yeah.
So, like, what really, like, inspired this for you? Like, why did you choose now as the right time for your first ever, like, Spanish kind of single?
This song "Mi Vida" was actually supposed to come out earlier, but because you know, uh, just things had to happen the way it does, and sometimes in the world that that might be better, and that's what I've learned in my life. That God's timing is everything, and that don't try to fight, those things. And "Mi Vida," when we did first try to put it out, I thought, why not second album? I think it's the perfect time for me to try, I guess reveal to my fans and the rest of the world like whom I may be more of. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my social media presence and a lot of the other things I get to do with my expression, of character, who I am, and all those things. I feel like it's a little bit more limited, because instead of showing so much about Justin Park, I get to show more about the music and oh, we got release dates, da da da. It's a little less impersonal, so I feel like through the work and through what I choose to show, as a part of my life in the works and the projects, I think that's how it's that's how it's gonna be. So for me, Vida, I wanted to show the people like my LA-ness, like my LA culture, where I'm from, my friends, who I grew up with, why I know some Spanish, you know what I'm saying, like who I learned these things from. So I think this is why we're choosing to do Mi Vida now. It's perfect timing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I did feel like that might have been because of like LA roots, but at the same time, I felt like it might have been specifically with like the guitar, the Latin romance guitar vibes that you give us. Like I felt like that might have been a thing that was inspired by your producer, Michael Fish.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that collaboration with you and Michael Herring, and like what made you want to bring him on board for this track?
Sure. So we've been wanting to work with Fish for a long time. Fish Herring, that's his nickname, but he's an amazing, amazing musician and guitarist who's performed around, wow, countless, like, maybe infinite tours around the world with amazing names like Madonna, Christina, Aguilera. And wow, Fish is just one amazing walking, talking musician. You know what I mean? Like, he's just so good. So yeah, one day for me, Vida, like he comes to us and gives us a track that's like unfinished. It's like just a guitar and all that. And I was like, this is amazing. This sounds so good. The production wasn't even done yet, and it had already sounded like a masterpiece. Like it wasn't mixed, it wasn't touched or anything like that. So from that moment on, I kind of felt like this song would be a hit, 100% sure. I didn't know what the writing for it would be at that point yet because the song hadn't been written. Me and my friend Dirk Pate hadn't written it yet, so we had no idea what it was gonna be. But when and Dirk had come to me separately with another project that we were like, oh my god, we're for sure gonna write on this. And then Fish had this, guitar production, and I was like, wow, I wonder what this project's gonna turn into. And so when the two came together to be Mi Vida, it was just like, wow. Like it makes sense, like how did this happen? Like we have a guitar over here that's kind of a Spanish guitar influence, and here's this, a track with vocals that have some sort of Spanish pop and like reggaeton, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of that balance. I was like, it only makes sense that the two come together.
Right, right. And, as far as the writing process goes, like, how are you able to, first of all, you sound like you speak Spanish, like, fluently on this track. So, what was that like doing the writing from English to Spanish and kind of mixing the two? Because I feel like sometimes with different languages, words don't bounce
Yeah.
the same. So, what was that process like for you?
It was tough because for me, my Spanish isn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's nowhere near perfect at all. Very fundamental, but I mean, for me, I enjoy speaking Spanish. I enjoy learning about the culture and the language, to be honest, because I love language, man. Like people always clown on me, but every new country I go to, I try to just speak the language. Like, don't try to speak English. Don't have anyone translate. Just let me struggle. Let me figure this out, because that's what life's all about. So I think it was the funnest part, one of the funnest parts of the process for me. Um, me and my friend Edna, who's also my hairstylist and stylist. I love her so much. Edna is amazing. She's from San Diego. She has an amazing hair studio in downtown San Diego. You guys need to check it out. I need to get the name for that ASAP. But check out Edna, Edna Lugo, Lugo on Instagram. Please check her out, guys. Love her so much. So she helped me and sat with me for days, maybe a week, just FaceTiming me, seeing me in person a couple times to flesh out the lyrics in Spanish. Because I told her, like, "Oh, I really want it like this. Like, can it mean this? And I want it to roll off the tongue like this." You know what I'm saying? So parts of it were really like hard because we are just like, dang, it doesn't translate perfectly like that, you know? For instance, one line is which part is it? The in the pre-chorus, it's like, uh, mm-mm, it's like you're so good and bad like Kevin and hell. Girls like you like to have fun and then aquí, right? But like that part was before girls like you like to have fun. And what was it? It was like it was something not so simple because Venaki is just like come here or like come with me, right? But it was a line that was a little more like zesty in English, right? So when we just put Venaki, I was like, because from my former knowledge of Spanish, I was like, oh, isn't that too simple? Da da da. But like Edna was like, no, 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 we need to keep that part just like that. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it does its job. Don't do too much. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So me working with Edna was a really fun thing. And I think she got the perfect balance for me because I like to do a lot, like too much sometimes. And so when I have someone with structure, someone with a little bit of vision as well, I think when we come together and it's perfect.
Simple is just more than enough sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you have these two different languages going back and forth. Now, as far as like the recording process, like vocally, how was it singing in Spanish? I feel
Oh.
personally when I speak Spanish, I feel like my voice changes. So for you as an artist, like when you're singing in Spanish, did you feel like you were able to hit different vocal ranges at the same time?
This is a really good question, actually. First time getting asked this question, and I think in Spanish, for me, for some reason, I feel like Spanish is the most romantic language. So for me, I feel like when I speak Spanish, I already feel like a character. Kind of like I'm in a movie. So I feel very romantic when I'm speaking Spanish. So when you say like for instance, like oh, what was it? Trying to remember the phrase. There's a phrase I had just learned recently that I really wanted to use, but I'll just stick to the ones that we already know, right? Right. So it's like mi amor, like it's like mi amor. It's like if you're talking to a woman, right? You're like mi amor, like da da da. They can't you can't help but feel like so romantic, and I think that's the one of the many reasons of the beautiful reasons to love Spanish. Like I think it's so fun to learn. I think just the rolling R's, like there's just so much of it that just you know, yeah. So that's my take on it. I love it. I love culture. So
And you mentioned you feel like you feel like you're a character when you speak in Spanish,
oh yeah.
and goes perfectly with this music video. You gave us this whole performance on this video, like you gave us your acting chops on this video. So
Right.
talk to me about that creative process of the music video and how involved were you in like the entire story.
Thank you for asking this question, man. I was this music video, though I'm involved in all the music videos, pretty heavily. This music video I felt like is my baby because I just I had to do with every part of it. If not just having a part in it, almost like telling people what to do, you know what I'm saying? Like that bad. Like just no, like this project guys, like I know what it's supposed to be. I was like, no, we have to do it like this. And like every part of it was for a reason in my mind. For like, so for the reason why it looks so much like a movie, or like it feels like there's acts to it, act one, act two, act three, there's a succession to the story, the right to the story of Mi Vida. And so like the basic synopsis of what it is, it's a short film, I guess, about wrong place, wrong time, right? So it's like this character who, let's just say Justin, this character, is at a bar. Yeah, he's at a bar, and then he sees this amazing, beautiful woman, and like obviously too, like the obvious things are there. He's Asian and like she's of Hispanic descent, and like I think like a part of it too might be a social commentary thing too, because it's like, what was going on before when we had first shot this was like a lot of crazy stuff around the world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of racial tension, stuff like that. So I think we wanted to just show people like, you know, like love can be between anybody, any two people. Doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, what you believe, right? So there's that little portion of it too, of social commentary, but then also to the story and all of that, like wrong place, wrong time. You see this beautiful woman, and you can't help but fall in love with somebody who you have this connection with, right? Little does he know, the character doesn't know that she's a mob boss's daughter, like the cartel's daughter. And so you see a little bit of the Spanish in there and the subtitles as well when the mob boss picks up and he's like, Vida? He's like, I'm on my way. He's like, stop it. He's like, don't even try that with me. It's like, my daughter? With who? So yeah. So he throws down my friend Zane. He was drowning him. Throws him down. He's like, I'm coming up. He's like, save my spot. I'm coming right now. Wrong place, wrong time. Mob boss comes through. Oh crap, he catches me dancing with his daughter. Oh, it's on. I'm this guy right now. I get captured, tries to torture me. I escape, I run away, and then here we are running away from the cartel. So that's the main story of the movie Vida. Very simple story. Sounds like a Netflix movie, but it was so fun to make. I had a hand in every freaking part of this. Casted. I literally contacted the people myself, DM'd them. We're like, hey, if you did this with us, check this song out. I know you love it. If you like the song, then just be in the music video. Come on. I was like, I'll fly you out to Miami, from Miami to LA. Come on, let's do this. It was fun. It was a really, really fun thing. Working with Johnson Diaz, Richard Song, The Combine. It was really fun. It took us a little while, but I think it was the best music video that I have so far.
You've officially starred in your first ever novella.
Yes, yes. I planned on it since I was young. It's finally happening.
That's so sick. But yeah, you get. I mean, it was shot beautifully. Like I was just like, damn, like you debuted in Spanish and then now you're debuting in acting. Like that was like the perfect the perfect release to kick off the new year. Now, as far as this song goes, like, would you say that this song is a one-off, or would you say that this is like a new direction that you're trying for an upcoming sophomore record?
Thing is, I don't think you guys understand how much I love, you know, songs in Spanish, bro. I man, if you knew how much I listen to like J Balvin, Rosalia, even like way older like Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to like, well, I'm from East LA, right? So in East LA, everyone listens to like either, man, what was it called? There was a word. It was like,
Like bachata or like
yeah, it's not just
rancheras?
bachata, but it's like rancheras. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say rancheros, but that's like a meat. You know what I'm saying? Like rancheras, yeah. But everybody listens to that kind of music. You know what I'm saying? Like in the streets, outside, like they're just kicking it, listening to that kind of music. And I'm in LA, like you get pretty used to it. You love that sound. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up listening and even singing that sometimes too. Like I remember in high school I had a crush, right? Who was Mexican, right? So I learned a ranchera song. I forgot which artist it was. But yeah, it was something really smooth, right? I learned it and I sang it to her. It was just it's dope. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You're pretty influenced. That's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
that's
bro. I
pretty
mean,
great.
I don't know where you from again?
I'm in LA. I'm more like towards
Oh,
Pasadena area.
okay,
But yeah.
cool. I'm from Pasadena as well, so like,
Yeah, South Pass, right?
yeah, South Pasadena. That's right. So I think LA is such a melting pot, man. Like even going to South Pasadena High School, like I had a lot of Mexican homies, right? Because it's right
Yeah.
next to Highland Park, Cypress, like. Because I remember taking the metro all the time, like from like those areas, getting some Mexican food, like stuff like that. Yeah.
That that's awesome. How did you go from kind of coming from these like cities that like now they're gentrified, but before like it was kind of dangerous too.
Yeah.
Like so, how do
Wow.
you go
Wow.
from that to being able to be a successful artist and like following your own lane and not following the same path that everybody else was following?
Absolutely, bro. Dang, this is a really good question, and this question plays into my life so like heavily. And I feel like when I was in Koreatown before my whole family moved to South Pasadena, Koreatown was like really dark. It was tough. And like even just to give you guys perspective, like even me as like a young kid, like 6 years old, like maybe 7, you know? Like I would get bullied by like the older kids like who were gangsters, like they were like Korean gangsters, like actually like I don't know, you guys probably don't know what I mean by this, but in Koreatown it's like it's something. Koreatown, LA. And I remember one time I had a hat that had the A's symbol on it, like the baseball symbol or the baseball team. And they were like, they were really pressing me. They're like, take that off, like da da da. Obviously, way worse than how I'm saying it. They're like, take that off. Don't even wear that ever. Or we're gonna do da 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 to you, right? So pressure was on. Like a lot of kids end up doing the wrong things because of stuff like that. You fall into being in a gang, or like maybe you and your friends just doing bad stuff, wanting to protect each other, protect yourselves, protect your family, whatever it may be. And it was really hard because my oldest cousin, who's 12 years older than me, but lives with me even now. Like we live together. We've lived together since I was like 6. He's like my brother, but he was in a gang like when I was a kid, right? So we actually had to move out of Koreatown. Like that's how bad it was. Like whatever was going on, my aunt and my family were like, we have to move out. So we're gonna move to South Pasadena, somewhere where it's better. So we moved, and then, I was lucky enough to be very young when I got there, and then I lived a very, very much better lifestyle, even though we are probably like one of the poorer ones in the city. I think just being there, having the education from there, having friends from South Pasadena, like a much more stable lifestyle was a blessing to me because I easily see myself falling into like the route my cousin went or like something like that if I hadn't been blessed with a family who really cared about our education and our backgrounds and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really blessed. I would easily see myself being a troublemaker. Just
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're stuck in that, like that's all you know.
it's so
That's
true.
all you know.
Like
But
even
that's
me, like I would say I had to like there were a lot of times when I did stuff where I felt like, it wasn't the right thing, but because I had to, like, as I was hungry or like I just didn't have money with me like every day to eat at school or like, anywhere really, or food at home, it wasn't enough. So it's like you have to do certain things to like get by. It is what it
that's
is.
crazy. But I could see, I could kind of like, just in this interview alone, I can feel that you kind of think about that constantly to the point
Oh
where like you want to feed others as well, like
oh
your
yeah.
hairstylist that you mentioned, and you offered her a different job that it had nothing to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
with hairstyling, or so it's like I can kind of sense that from you, that you still keep going back to those times and thinking about,
Mm.
well, it could have been like this.
Oh heck yeah. But I'm so grateful for my life. Like my life is perfect. I think I would never change it. I think as a kid, I always used to wonder that, like, why God me? Like, why me? Were you like this is terrible? Like, why did you pick me to be this? But like looking back on it, it's like, damn, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change anything. It's
That's
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, as like going back into the music, like um, this is a new single that you just released, maybe that. So, and obviously 2021, I think initially was going to be the release of the sophomore album, the follow
Yeah.
up to Places Like Home. So, where do you feel you are as far as like a new record goes, and what do you feel like? What's on your mind as far as like the topics that you'll be talking about during this album?
Oof. Well, first and foremost, I'll say this album is a good one. We've been waiting a little while to drop it, so I think since we had so much time, like we had like the leisure of collecting the songs, right? And collecting what components we want for this album ultimately. And I think we did a really good job. Literally, the whole team came together to put a hand in on this project. So I think it's very, very balanced. We have songs for the women. We have songs for the men, like harder songs, like stuff that I feel like my friends ask me for sometimes, and just to give you a glimpse of my life, what it's like. Some of my friends ask me and have conversations with me about my music. They're like, "Hey, like like they're like, I know you're an R&B artist. R&B pop artist. You love to entertain the women with your vocals, but like they're like, hey, we want something too. Like we want something to to get lit to turn up to. So we have a couple of tracks like that in the album as well. Like club bangers, as you would say. Very very balanced album. I think you guys would love it. Give you more info. There's some '80s vibes. We got some funk type, quick pace type stuff too. Stuff you can bob your head to. Um, what else is there? There's more trap soul type stuff because I'm very into Bryson Tiller. I'm very influenced by him as well and the subgenre trap soul, and so I put a little bit of that in as well in the album. And yeah, it's very special. I'm telling you guys. Okay, I have a little bit of French influences in this album as well. Places I Come had a French influence. I have a line where I say "Meilleur vin du Paris," right? It's just like the best wine in Paris, and from TLC. That's the name of the album, or name of the song. And in this one, we have a song called I have to say it right. Let me practice. Hold on. It's like fleur, 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 fleur. I don't know. My French friends don't kill me, but it's like I'll say it the American way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It says floor. You know what I'm saying? Like floor. Like that's the name of the song. It has some funk, uh, kind of EDM-y, like funk, fast paced. Um, just vibes. It's great. It's a really good song. Kind of weekendy vibes, but I think the fans would like it a lot. It's one of my favorites from the album as well. And from the BTS Jungkook shout out, we mentioned a song called Shady. That's I think is more for the women. It talks about a character named Shady, who I coined the name Shady for this guy. And Shady is basically the anti character in a relationship. Like he's the guy who doesn't want you to win, but he's with you for some reason. I don't know why, but he's just the anti guy. Like he doesn't want anything for you, you know. So that song I think is very special. It meant a lot to me when I wrote it. You know, it comes from a very real place for me too, and it's like how that song came about was me thinking about, I guess, people who I've been with or my exes, and thinking about how and they would have told me stories about their exes saying, "Oh, he did this to me. He did this to me," and that makes him a terrible guy, and he was the worst boyfriend, that kind of thing, you know. And I think women can really, really relate to what I say in the song. So yeah, check it out.
Another hit, another hit.
Oh, I think the music video for Shady is gonna be insane too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait. I feel like that's gonna be a full blown movie. Like definitely Netflix
Oh yeah.
premiere.
Oh
We gotta
yeah.
make that happen.
Let's get it.
Well, dude, as I mentioned, I'm so excited to finally get to catch up with you, and I'm excited for the new material. Congratulations with Mi Vida, and I'm looking forward to more Spanish from you, man. Like you're starting to roll your R's a little more. You said genre, but you said genre, and I was like, damn, he's got it.
In the genre. Like that. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that. No, honestly, you know what's crazy? Because I was writing a song like 5 days ago with my friend Evan, and wow. Okay, so we were working on something. It's like it was like English rap. We rapping in English, but I wanted to do this thing. We rolled a couple of the words. Yeah, but it's really cool. I mean, we're just trying to do fun stuff. We're just trying to be creative, man. I think this year we want everybody, man, like everybody on planet Earth to step out the box, bro. Like limiting. I think it's such a like we live in such a culture that's controlling, limiting of each other. Like we judge each other so much, and therefore these people start limiting themselves because they don't want to look weird or they don't want to be different. Thing is, like I think back in the day, like everybody was different and they're proud of that. So I feel like we need to get back to that somehow. Cause just this like, I love to see blending of everything, blending of culture, blending of whatever, but blending of the same person is just like weird. You don't want everybody to be the same, you know. We want to have our cultures showing through. We want to see the differences, you know. It's like in a group of friends, you're not gonna have everybody be exactly the same. It's weird. It's like you watch the show Friends. Each one of the characters is so different.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, it's vibrant. It's beautiful.
Dope. Well, looking forward to it, man. Make it happen. Make it happen. 2022.
Yeah. Love you guys. And thank you so much for this interview. I really appreciate it. This is fun. This is really fun.